For more on the political tensions and its impact on trade, I spoke to Tom Bollyky, Senior Fellow for the Global Health and Economics and Development at the Council on Foreign Relations, and I asked him about the U.S. involvement in regional economic and the political arena there.
So the U.S. is involved because the U.S. is involved in Southeast Asia, and particularly right now on trade initiatives. So the U.S. is negotiating a 12-country trade agreement called the Trans-Pacific Partnership, of which one of the countries involved is Japan. The remainder of the countries are mostly APEC countries, Asia-Pacific Economic Community countries, including a lot of Southeast Asian countries. Moves that raise tensions in Southeast Asia implicate this big initiative.
Investors from around the world, obviously there's been a big focus on Asia, China, Japan, both economic powerhouses. How should an investor look at this dispute?
I think at this point, it has not fundamentally altered the strategic considerations that underlie most trade initiatives in the region. So for governments that are engaged in a trade initiative like the Trans-Pacific Partnership as a way to respond to perceptions of growing Chinese influence in the region, this just underlies those strategic concerns. For governments that are involved in bilateral talks with China, they have deeper economic reasons for doing that, like Australia and South Korea. The one exception is there is a trade negotiation going on right now that involves Southeast Asian countries plus China plus South Korea plus Japan. It's called the Regional Cooperation Economic Partnership. This probably means that effort's going to stall.
This identification zone, it's not just the air, it's also the sea as well. It's a major shipping route. It's a major air route from planes coming from North America into southern China and beyond, further south. Also, it's a major shipping route for oil. How will that impact the economy, you think?
So to date, the air defense zone just requires identification if you fly through. It does apply to commercial air traffic, but it's being ignored by some airlines. Japanese airlines in particular have been ordered by the government not to comply, so they are not complying, and without any consequences to date. It has not infringed on ship travel, by which most trade occurs. The concern is by ratcheting up tension in this disputed area, it may lead to the potential of conflict over something that is an important shipping route. And if you see a similar move in the South China Sea, that's an even more important shipping route for national security reasons.
I mean, what you're saying is there is a geopolitical risk, something that there could be a misunderstanding, if you will, between the two parties. If an aircraft or two ships get too close, and just purely accidental could cause a very, very serious situation. How real is that risk?
I think the risk is real. There was a near mid-air collision between a U.S. military plane and a Chinese military plane a few years ago. That has been raised by the Obama administration with their Chinese counterparts as a reason that you don't want to see something like that happen where it can lead to concerns that spiral out of control. So those are the national security considerations. On the economic side, it has real considerations as well because there is a big move going on, competing moves really, one led by the U.S., this Trans-Pacific Partnership, the other in which China is involved, this Regional Cooperation Economic Partnership, to try to promote different visions of economic integration in Asia. The concern over this air defense zone probably favors the U.S. in terms of their initiative.
Let me talk about solutions here. The White House, Congress, surely they're watching this very carefully. What role do they play, if any, in terms of finding a solution for this?
So they've been actively involved. One of the problems for the U.S. is this is a time where they're near the conclusion of these Trans-Pacific Partnership talks. They're hoping to settle the last really difficult issues that arise in these types of trade talks. Vice President Biden traveled to Japan on a trip that was supposed to be dedicated to resolving those disputes. They spent the entire time on this air defense zone. So they are definitely actively involved. They've encouraged China to withdraw the zone. Quite frankly, that's probably not realistic. I think where there's flexibility involved, it's going to be on the enforcement side. But it definitely has larger implications for the initiatives that both the Chinese government and the U.S. government are pursuing in Southeast Asia right now.